Part 4. Autopilot Humor. Automatism. This is when a skill takes over a human. It becomes an extra layer of skin. One example of automatism is typing. In the beginning, typing was difficult. You had no clue how so many people could type all those words on the keyboard without ever staring down. Nowadays, you do it without a second thought. Another example is driving. You couldn't believe a machine with so much complexity could be driven without a second thought. Nowadays, you do it with ease. Who says that humor can't have the same feeling of effortlessness? After you set the intent to make others laugh and were successful a handful of times, this is when the humor muscle builds. Yes, I use the word muscle for a reason. Humor is an invisible muscle that can be strengthened. Watch interviews of famous comedians. They'll say that they got bullied and made fun of a lot while growing up. They were dorky and far from funny. One example is Chris Rock. He was getting made fun of left and right. That level of bullying pushed his back against the wall. The awkwardness set off the spark to sharpen his craft. It's okay when you're a natural at something. It's often better when you're learning a skill from the ground up. Nowadays, Chris Rock has exercised himself to be one of the funniest humans on the planet. Will Smith may disagree, of course. Sorry, Will. Love your movies, though. If a world-class comedian can go from being awkward to being funny, then you can too. Autopilot humor is when the automatism kicks in. At this stage, you no longer have to put in too much conscious effort. In the initial stages, we're mindfully setting the intention. At this stage, we're mindlessly executing. Mastery for dummies. Do it mindfully, so you have the luxury of doing it mindlessly. Knowing when to be serious. One thing with autopilot humor is that it can possibly turn you into a clown. Not unless you keep it in check. I knew someone who knew a famous comedian. The famous comedian was the husband of his wife's best friend. They all went on a cruise together. This famous comedian couldn't turn it off. He was joking left and right, turning everything into a joke. Trying to make someone laugh too much kills the serious side of you. This is when you go from being charming to becoming a clown. Once again, it's just like driving. Sure, you can drive with automatism because you've practiced so much, but you have enough self-awareness to know when to sit in your car and not drive. No need to leave your friend who went to pick up something from the gas station. Knowing when to leverage autopilot humor comes down to self-awareness.